Hi, everybody.
Hi, every spirit.
Welcome to our podcast, Spirit to All. As a Cloud Surfer here with
Daria here.
ready to talk with you.
Yeah,
Let's go.
let's go.
We here to present, to be a part of a new episode of our podcast, Spirit to All. And what we do in these podcasts and in our channels, as we have our channels, we do exactly what the name of the podcast says. We make spirit available to all by remembering people that they the spirit, they live in all possibilities and things like that. Okay? So maybe your spirit be within you and not somewhere else trying to pull you over to those new spaces and you're not aware of it.
Real shit. Because you create the energy that you surround yourself with. You bring your manifestations from within, and whatever you experience all comes from your space, your spirit, and each and every one of us create our reality, and we mix and mingle with each other based on those choices internally.
So the multiverse is the universe.
Exactly.
But before we start, I want to wish you the best thoughts,
Ideas,
feelings,
and emotions,
a whole bunch of individuality,
creativity,
and responsibility as well. Remember to check Minds and Mysterious links in the description down below. Support this channel, support Mysterious channel, and support us financially by donating with PayPal, or not with, but through PayPal, Ko-Fi, and Patreon, and every links in the description down below. And you have my email, esotericsurfer69@gmail.com, which you can book any services with me and Mysteria. You can do that through our IGs as well, which are present in the LinkTree down below. So, without any further ado, let's jump into the first topic of today. It's the first topic, y'all. Let's go. It's the first topic, that's how we start. It's the first topic, that's how we start. From the spark in the mind. Everything is alright, is fine. First topic of tonight, yeah.
Night. Okay. So do you want to present it? That is your idea?
Oh, that's true. Okay, so today's first topic, we don't really have a name or a title for it, so we're gonna talk about it. So back in the day, in Inquisition time, what they tell us about that time, right, is that many books will be burned if the content or the author of the book were not aligned with the church's ideals, right? Because nowadays you have many ways to influence people, to influence the masses. Back in the day, it was basically church only. It was easier to trick people because the spirits coming into this world were less experienced. But as we keep coming back or creating our own worlds, we keep being more wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they need to create more things because church is not enough. But back in the day, there were rebels as well. It's not just in our time that we have revolution.
There was Aquarius still.
Yeah, it's not right now. It's not only time where there is conspiracy theories and things like that. That's since we have these group of spirits trying to control and trying to take power and control over other spirits. We have that controlling the shadows, manipulating instead of direct and do business in the right way.
And in their own way, instead of trying to influence others to do things in their way, or in their brotherhood way, or in their religious way, or in their way to read the Bible.
So, back in the day and today, there is, and there was, rebels and people with just, not just rebels, but people with different mindsets, people with their own mindsets, right?
Yeah.
So back in the day, they will burn books, right, on those huge fires, as they tell us. And right now, they do that, but in a different way, right? They shadow ban and they block your pages, they demonetize your channels, they mute certain parts of your videos if you go against the guidelines, all right? And that's just like a comparison just like an interesting fact, like it was a more a correlation that I saw. It's not a big spiritual truth, you know.
But it's something that you see in the world until right now. It's not something new. People or big like platforms and just agglomeration of people that really go for shadow banning you to a certain level or trying to mute you to a certain level where you can't reach that capacity of people that they can reach with their newspapers and with their channels. Even if you don't want to listen to something, there will be like a radio somewhere turned on. If you are like in
Outside,
the city, outside, whatever you are doing, you will listen to certain types of information that they like that they want the people that shadow ban you want to for the masses to listen. And if you go against those the same rules or the same information that they want you to talk about right now, even if it's in your own way, it has to be about their starting points. Then they if you don't do that, they start to shadow ban you, they start to mute your pages and just and make that somewhat acceptable.
Yeah.
And that's the worst part, because then they bring up logic and some scientific facts or whatever to make it make sense that you should not talk about something, which is a total violation of your own expression. And it's something that, especially if it's not harming anyone, like you are not bombing with your information literally no one, you are not killing people, you are not going out of your way to make somebody understand something. It should not be muted like it is right now, and that has been, as they tell us about the Inquisition times and the times where they would burn the so-called witches, which just by default were kind of rebellious women or women with their own ideas and with their own way to go about the world and think about the world and be spiritual especially. And that's how I think that also correlates the religion being like the system that they want you to practice as your spirituality, which is faulty. You cannot practice spirituality that someone teaches you, because that's already not spirituality. You are not doing something for yourself. You are not taking accountability for yourself. You are praying to some god or to some form of idea that the writer or whatever, if it's not the book, it's the Pope or the priest that taught you how to see yourself or see your thoughts, then you are not making up your mind, and that in itself is already you letting someone make up your mind for yourself. And that's what shadow ban provokes.
Because nowadays people that agree with that like cancellation or limitation of self-expression, they use that argument. They use, people are too gullible, people do everything they see online, people follow those quote unquote bad informations, right? But in realistic terms, that's not the fault of the expressor. That's not the fault of whoever is putting the information out there, right? So there is only responsibility to a certain extent, right? I can say that drinking sulfuric acid is good for your health, but you don't need to go ahead and do it. If you do it, you'll die. If you drink some, so this also reveals one consequence of the system that many people live in, which is like lack of discernment. You lack discernment because you always, quote unquote, fed with the same type of information, which is controlled and censored as well. It's filtered to you.
Yeah.
But with this topic, we just wanted to show you some similarities and mirroring between now and then. It's just we live in the same system. We are still under not control, but there is a group of spirits that they think they are in control, and then another group of spirits, they accepted that belief, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and they suppress information
Because that in itself already comes to how elitism of information is practiced. Like the people that keep certain vital information away from the publics, right? The people that we call the scientists and whatever, the men of the system and the government and whoever is in control of the decisions that billion-dollar companies make and whatever. Those are the people that they convince themselves that people and they know that people cannot discern information. They think that people cannot use that information for specifically for their plans, right? For their program. They would go on to doing something for themselves or for their own community, for their own soul group. So they think that we have to keep this information intact. So only people that show us interest in working for our projects, then we can present that to them, and then more people will know about that.
So basically, the burning of books and things as shadow banning, or the most dangerous thing about that is they keep you from fighting your soul group.
Exactly. And like because you see in the Vatican that they have all of those books that nobody else has. Why only them, right? And that's a known fact. Everybody knows that there are libraries that you cannot access, and so they read those books, they read a lot of that content, they watch a lot of those videos that are shadow banned.
True.
They
and
know
they even do some of those things.
They just don't want the masses to know, because the masses is the mess, is the agglomeration of a lot of spiritual groups together, a lot of spirits from different places together, and trying to find their soul group, trying to find a way to express themselves in the best way in this world. And by shadow banning is really keeping people, as you said, from finding their soul group and from expressing themselves in the better way, because from so many years there was so much information out there that
about their infrastructure,
and
not about your infrastructure.
And there was and I believe that there was a lot of and there still is a lot of content coming out of real individuals, always trying to express themselves in the best way so they can express that to the whole world. And those type of people throughout these 2000 years have been always erased, and so that experience and that knowledge and that wisdom that was, and that art that was expressed by individuals, real individuals, was erased from this world, was kept away from bigger, wider audience
that could resonate.
Exactly, and that could learn from, that could expand. And so whatever you see in the masses, and whatever, it doesn't mean it's that it's not useful. It's always useful, any information, but their information many times is faulty and many times has a direction towards their soul group. And so they want, in a sense, to narrate you into a certain path. You can see that many times in the news, in the papers where there is not just information, there is not just this is what it is or this is the facts. There is always some form of direction with that information, trying to direct you into a certain behavior or into a certain narrative. That's what happens when like a certain disease is spread, and or they try to make you think that there's a certain thing going on in the world or that you should care about, that doesn't really involve you and your soul group, doesn't really involve your creativity and whatever you are going through right now. So that's like the deviation that happens if you are not from those type of soul groups, you know.
So in conclusion,
I think that the erasing and keeping away of any information really, or any experience and wisdom that has been put out there should never be erased, should never be something that you should keep away, or because that in itself is already big disrespect to your individuality, the one who created that, the one who expressed something that many people can deeply resonate with or have some sort of response to it, and have some form of thought pop up in their mind, or something that they might remember, something that they might be interested in to explore and to learn more about, so, and discern. So that is very important, to not block or shadow ban whatever wisdom and knowledge and art comes out there just because you got offended, or just because it's not into your soul group, because that is really toxic, and that is not how the world works.
I mean, it is right now, but it doesn't mean it's the right way just because it works.
It's not.
It doesn't mean it's the right way
Exactly.
to do things.
Yeah.
So just keep expressing yourself, even if you get shadow banned and things like that. Just keep expressing yourself until you find your soul group, and then you don't need to use their platforms. You can perhaps create your own platform, or use a better platform for you and your soul group. So you can even see that as a positive side. If they shadow ban you, if they burn your book, it means you are on your way.
Yeah.
It means you are on your own individual, unique way.
Yeah, real shit. Because information is just information. It's not like it's bad or good. Information can be faulty, but it's still information. It might inform you of this person is a liar, or it might inform you of a certain thing that you
but
are aware
you don't need to be. There is a lot of things that you don't need to be aware of.
Exactly.
So
keeping that in mind, be able to discern what to really pay attention to, what to travel into, because that can happen a lot, especially they say, I mean, like I heard this where somebody said that the internet had too much information, or the internet had too much things available for people. And then it's like, what does that mean? Because there is never like the constant flow. It's always, the life is constant flow of information. You can develop information from anything, and so discerning and knowing what rabbit hole not to go into is the best way for you to navigate through the world, and be able to really see what is the path that you want to focus on and pay attention to.
Okay. Good conclusion for our first topic. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Remember to leave your comments in the comment section down below, and to give any suggestion and ideas for next topics as well.
Yeah.
And with that, we make a topic change.
Ooh, it's a topic change. It's a topic change. Yeah. It's a topic change. It's a topic change. It's the second topic.
All right. So the second topic of today is brought to us by Mysteria herself, and it is being isolated and away from fun and enjoyment, and perhaps comfort we can add in here,
Healing.
makes the healing process harder or less fluid,
Yeah.
as I personally understand. And I agree with this topic, and I am a witness. I'm a defender. I've gone through this, and I have a lot of testimonies, and sometimes I even subconsciously created healing process or diseases in order to just move into a more comfortable and less stressful, physically speaking, space. So aka I was looking to get closer to fun, enjoyment, and comfort. So that shows that in my case, being away from fun and enjoyment makes the healing process harder. But what are your thoughts on this topic that you brought to us?
So this idea popped up in my mind, or this little travel that I went through when when I noticed that in the hospitals, and especially in hospitals, you see like the traditional hospitals are like all white, super cold, or super moist in a sense, but you always feel and smell that alcohol, and always that disinfection with those type of let's say clean, what could alcohol be like? It's a killing
It's a killing agent.
Killing agent, yeah, basically taking away all the little particles and oils out of the space, right? Or out of that place. And so I was thinking how it feels, and whenever I would go into hospitals, or even dentists for that matter, but dentist is a little bit
Lighter,
different.
yeah.
It's a little bit faster. It's a process that you don't spend time in, but especially it's more casual, or
True, I
more
see.
fast. You can whatever you are doing, and you did it in 1 hour and you gone. But in hospitals, many times you see people can spend some more time there, or they broke a leg and they spend the whole month there, or whatever, or the week. And or even with certain diseases, or when people start to get more older, and
They spend more time in the hospital.
they spend more time in those places. And whenever I go there, and whenever I feel like people go there, I always get the sense of distance, and let's say
maybe too serious.
Yeah, it's a serious space, and that's where I want to go with this. So whenever you go to the hospital, you feel that distance, that coldness, and that detachment from you and the doctor, for example, or you and the space itself. So wherever environment you're in, it's always in a way open to whatever spirits, because it's so clean, it's so distant, that it's kind of cold, it's scary in a sense.
Uncomfortable.
And
a bit traumatic.
A bit traumatic, a bit more like this is the testimony, or this is the it's like waiting for someone, because that's what happens when you go to the hospital. You are waiting for the response, you are waiting for the institute, that space, to take the conclusion, analyze yourself, your body, and take the conclusion, and present you with the conclusion as well as the next steps of whatever you need to go through in that space, right? So people, even when they get sick, they go there and they might receive some predicament where you have to receive some medicine and go to the medicine store to buy some pills and shit like that. And so that in itself is already another thing. But when you are in a space of illness, or whenever you got yourself hurt, whenever you went through such a transforming experience, or you are about to go through a transforming experience, and you are, your body is reacting, you are already shaking, or you things are happening or have happened that led you to a circumstance that you are feeling sick, and that you are in a state of somebody has to help you, or you have to help yourself. And when you, for example, go to the hospital, or you stay there too much time, you may have a lighter way to, or it's a for, in a way, it's a good way for you to detach from your body. But at that time, if you are detached from your body, you cannot listen to it, or have a connection with whatever experience you are going through, and whatever body you are into, and whatever environment you may be in will determine how comfortable you feel with the experience that you are going through right now. If you are feeling super sick, it might be very hard for you to go through that experience in a pleasant way, or in a way that you can feel like you are releasing something, even if it's painful, depending on the environment and the place that you are in, will depending on the environment, it's gonna determine how that healing experience will be, and your next steps after that recovery or not, depending, because in those crucial situations, when you are in a you broke your leg, or you had a heart attack, or really you took yourself through, you went through an experience that was transforming or not, you go through a time where you have to come really closer to you, and come really this is like the there was already many messages, right, that okay, so let's make this more clear right here. Whenever you are going through these healing scenarios, and having to be healed or healing yourself, you have to understand whatever is the environment that you are in, and that in the hospitals, for example, the contact is not close, it is not familiar, it is distant, and it is far away, it is somewhat alien. If you don't know the doctor, if you don't know the space, if you are not in a place where you can be you can talk about internal processes and really connect with someone on an intimate level, and be able to spiritually connect, and be able to laugh, joke, have some form of connection, and talk about your experiences, that's what being like healing is all about. Having a like really healing in the best way is for you to be able to share those moments in those crucial times, and just have someone to sit with you, and in the hospital you don't get that treatment, in a sense of there is no connection and real enjoyment, and yeah, that's it. That
But how does that relate with the topic?
with the topic, which is being isolated and away from fun and enjoyment makes the healing process harder. Yes. So by you being isolated and by, for example, yeah, exactly, being in the hospitals, many times that's what you don't experience fun, enjoyment, some form of connection, some form of comfort, or conversation. Your healing process and how you experience that transformational moment and or that healing moment will be much harder and less viable for your future.
Mm-hmm. And how you relate the fun and enjoyment part, how, because that helps heal the healing process.
Indeed. I see that also astrologically wise, talking about fifth house and fourth house. Fourth house being comfort, personal space, family privacy, that family privacy, family business, and going into fun and enjoyment. Fifth house, Leo, paying attention to something.
And then sixth house, which involves
health and routine and patterns and things like that. So
it's the follow-up, it's the building up, the seeds that you plant, and then you either don't manifest or you manifest a health issue.
Yeah.
Then it all depends on the seeds that you planted on your fourth and fifth house.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah,
and it's comfort, fun, and enjoyment. Yeah. That's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, the real completion of that healing process that you as an individual have to go through, And I was talking about the environment.
Yeah.
Which is the third house.
Which lacks comfort, fun, and enjoyment.
Exactly. And the second house is your values.
Yeah.
And that is what develops a illness, right? Or not, in a sense, because your personality is what you are personally into, your personal traumas, your personality, what you personally are interested in. And the second house is you developing values and a value system, how you
and
value.
The third house is the environment.
The environment that you place.
What you're talking about.
Yeah.
The fourth and fifth house, which are like inside or derived from the third house.
Yeah.
In the hospitals, are not always beneficial for a healthy, better health process, healing process.
Because even if you want, even if you want a medic or a doctor from those institutes that we are talking about, you can bring one to your home. It doesn't mean that you have to go to that space or that place to, receive some treatment. But this is just like some form of a better solution for you to understand that in your home or in a place that you really feel comfortable is the best place for you to heal and for you to really create that cleansing to build a better routine and pattern.
True. And in the hospitals, you don't have the space for that.
Yeah. In the hospitals, they might give you drugs. They give you some form of pills for you to forcibly sleep, right?
For an example.
Yeah, for an example. Because there are other things that happen there and that you are not able to process because you could not share exactly the experience that you were going through for them to understand
so the experience many times in the hospital ends up being stressful and traumatic.
Cold.
So it's more like they forcefully heal the body.
Yes.
They don't heal the emotion or the spirit or the mind.
And that is
in general. I'm not saying every hospital it's every time like that.
We are talking about the general big ass city hospital that everybody goes to for anything, that not there are some maybe private hospitals that involve some
Yeah,
more
true.
care and interesting things and environment, some fireplace maybe, you know, things like that. Surrounding yourself with good candles and incense is many times the best healing thing you can do for yourself. Just involving yourself with your favorite perfumes and your favorite um,
Music,
music.
smells, image colors,
Yeah,
crystals,
I
gems,
mean, yeah,
shows, food
indeed.
that can help healing. But now we were talking about discernment on the first topic, right?
Yeah.
And we have to like draw the line. You know, if you break a leg,
Yeah.
it's not by smelling
Exactly.
a good incense that the leg will heal, right? You have to
Exactly.
go to the hospital.
And that is
right?
also that point of going to the dentist, right? The
Yeah,
dentist is fast,
true.
right? The dentist is when you like you ate so much shit or you couldn't process so much shit, you didn't wash your teeth for 10 years and you ate that all that shit and now your teeth are you broke your 2 teeth and you it hurts as fuck, so you broke your leg or whatever. That involves a process,
Yeah.
like clean process,
True.
without no cutie
Yeah.
pie, because
No,
it's
yeah.
super dangerous
Yeah.
for your experience and for, you know, just your well-being in the moment right now. There is no other thing. You had an heart attack. What the fuck are you going to do with the candles and the things like
Yeah.
that? You are going to be taken to the hospital, indeed, to the
So
people
this example can be more used as in like chronic diseases or
yes
things that take more time,
yeah
that you
yeah.
spend more time in the
Yeah.
hospital.
yeah
And
because that also
because in those cases the healing comes really or more percentage of the healing comes
into
from the
play.
environment.
Yeah,
Like
indeed.
if you break a leg, it's not the environment that will
Yeah.
heal, but after the surgery is done, if you are in a better environment,
Yeah.
you will heal faster.
Yeah, and just by that environment.
So it's more about the not fixing, it's not about the cure, it's about really healing.
Yeah.
Or because you might like have a heart attack, that's like you lose conscious.
Yeah.
So you don't witness the process, but you
Mhm.
are in the healing process afterwards, and the environment then is of utmost importance. Yes, I agree with what you're saying.
Indeed. So there are situations for everything, and in those critical transformational moments, also there was also something that led to that, right? The same with the chronic diseases, but those critical moments were a build-up in a way, internally and externally, that led you to a situation like that, right? So there is always a different methods to heal and improve your state. Yeah. And that's why we have the system, right? And that's why we have so many people that are interested in helping others, and with their own clinics, their own
alternative medicine, quote unquote.
People coming to their house, or they going to somebody else's house, just doing a massage or whatever. You might have like a really stiff shoulder, and that can influence your whole day, your whole, and that build up, right? That was a build up for that. There was a build up for that pain in the shoulder, and right now, what you can call is a massagist, and somehow to fix that, as well as internally be able to process that, and things like that. So there are just really infinite ways to heal yourself, because if there is a problem, there is always a solution.
But being isolated and away from fun and enjoyment makes the healing process harder. Yeah, that's a fact.
Indeed.
All right, I enjoyed this topic.
Remember to complete your process.
True.
Remember to complete your process from your first house to the 7th house, which is
that's a part of the wheel.
Indeed, one part of the wheel.
A you.
Yeah,
then
how you
relate. The you to complete.
Indeed.
Okay, so let's go to the third topic.
Let's go. Ta-na-na. Ta-na-na. It's the third topic of the day. is the third topic of the day. Ah, yeah.
Alright, so the third topic of the day is quite interesting, and it's also related to health and your reaction to health and things like that. So it's more like it's not about what you consume, but it's really about the interaction between you and the thing that you consume, right? So for an example, many people have different experiences with alcohol, drugs. Some people eat chocolate and get full of pimples.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are allergic to clams or to seafood. Some people get stomach aches if they eat lemons or something like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, "Oh, bacon is bad for the blood," or something like that, right? And that's what I'm here to talk about in this topic. So that doesn't mean that bacon is bad. That doesn't mean that chocolate is bad because it makes you have acne or makes your belly hurt. That doesn't mean chocolate is bad in general, right? What it means is the interaction between you and chocolate is harmful, it's not harmonious. So when you eat the chocolate or when you drink a certain type of alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
that goes inside of you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
That sustenance, as spirits
You
within
receive it.
that, yeah, you receive it, and then it's like you guys have sex.
Mm-hmm.
You guys
Yeah.
share spaces,
That's what
energy.
receiving is.
Yeah, and then that creates more spirits, more spaces, more energies. That creates an event.
Mm-hmm.
That creates something, and then that's good or bad or harmful or pleasurable. So, because that happens a little bit nowadays, they say apples is good for this, that is bad because of that. That makes you happen something to your sugar levels, whatever, you know, and that might not be true for you. So you need to consume and experiment those foods and drinks and things like that by yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and witness the event
Yeah.
that comes out of that,
How
and then
you
judge by
react.
yourself.
Yeah, react to it. And when this is like how you react, and not only that, but what is this like the space that you are in right now might be different in a few days, right? So the reaction that you are going to be having with the whatever you receive will be somewhat different, somewhat similar, but there will be a different way for you to, you will experience it in a different way somehow if your state of being is different as well.
True.
Whenever, for example, you might
True.
be super hot blooded and you are
Yeah.
ready to kill someone, you are ready to beat somebody's ass, and you are
drink a cold ass
really,
cola.
yeah, you are really hot, you drink a very hot a very cold cola, it's freezing, and you just you can get frozen, you can get your stomach can stop,
Yeah.
or you can stop for real. And there is a lot of ways that you can experience a cold Coca-Cola, you know. And if you see people talking about a cold Coca-Cola causes blood pressure, and but in the moment that you are drinking it, it might cause high blood pressure, just depending on the state that you are in drinking it, because you might react to it in a different way.
True.
You know.
So it's always about the relationship between you and what you consume.
Yeah, and what you consume.
And
Indeed.
the state you are in.
The state that you are in.
And the state that the spirits or the thing you're consuming were in. will determine, will be the the nest, the womb of the things, of the event that will happen. And that's when it comes into play, a separate topic for another podcast, which is programming your food.
Yeah.
You know, people program their booze, people program their weed.
Yeah.
You know, they talk to them,
Yeah.
or they place a certain intention.
Mm-hmm.
So then you are in a good ass space doing that programming,
Yeah.
and the food is in that good ass space. So the chances that it will be harmonious interaction is higher,
Yeah, exactly.
and it can give you good thoughts, creativity, ways to feel sustainable with it. But yeah, that's another topic.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
just for the topic of today is just to keep in mind is it's not about what you consume. It's about the interaction between you and that thing. Okay, so don't take general concepts of apples are bad or apples are good, right? It's how you react to them, and keep that in mind.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's it
Yeah.
for this topic.
I just remembered a interesting thing where I saw a couple from Russia. They were giving like a little interview to a guy that I don't remember his name right now. He has his own podcast talking about some news and alternative source news about events and certain things that happen in the world and between people. And he was talking to a certain couple from Russia that could eat uranium. They basically could consume uranium, and that was the only thing that they would eat. So that
only that.
I think that was the only
Really?
thing that they could consume. So they said that their skin would glow or some shit like that. But that is just an interesting possibility to understand how how you are vibrating, on what frequency you are vibrating will be how you are also receiving, and how and what you can receive for you to sustain the state that you are in. So if you can eat uranium and that's the only thing you can eat, and everybody think it's
bad,
crazy, or it's like
you.
It will kill you. You just that's just your shit. So you are not really from this world, and nobody is. So if they are pretending that they are, let them pretend and just do your shit.
Okay, let's go. Good topic. Moving on. Let's go for the fourth and last topic of today, y'all. Thank you very much for listening until right now. Let's continue with changing topics.
It's the fourth topic. It's the fourth topic of the day.
Alright, guys, let's go. The fourth topic of today is... Oh, I like this one. Very interesting. It's the everything is going to be alright, okay? Everything is going to be alright spell versus the everything is right spell, okay? So we have two worldviews, we have two wombs, two whirlpools, world pools that we can believe in, that we can be alive in, right? And one is, oh, everything is going to be alright. The other one is everything is alright. Okay?
Yeah.
And I was thinking more about this, or I was more aware about this when it was like more pandemic times. It was more all over the news, and people were like drawing rainbows and placing them on their windows, saying everything is going to be alright.
Yeah.
Everything will be alright.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, hey, hold on. That's kind of a spell, because the people that are participating in that, the people that are using that spell, they are waiting for the change. They are waiting to be saved in a way.
That's the state that they are in.
Yeah, so they are forgetting, or they are refusing, or they are not aware that everything either is or can be alright right now or in a few moments later, right?
Yeah.
So that's a spell that keeps you away from change,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
keeps you away from having your own power over what's happening right now, keeps you in a waiting state for
Yeah.
somebody to tell you that it's
Mm-hmm.
okay right
Yeah.
now.
And doing it as a spell and just saying that out loud and or thinking that is you by you saying that you are in a state of somewhat appreciation or hope, right? You are in that space. So when you say everything is going to be all right, you are in a state of right now it's not all right, or everything is going to be all right is a manifestation that you will always be manifesting, or a claim that you will always be manifesting internally and externally, which is you always saying that
Yeah.
everything is going to be all right.
It's like the donkey that is like chasing the carrot. Like
Yeah.
imagine I'm riding a donkey
Yeah.
and they have a stick
Mm-hmm.
and a string and they
Yeah.
have a carrot
Yeah.
in the end of the string, and the donkey is always chasing
Yeah.
the carrot,
Because
always
the donkey
going.
thinks that he will get the carrot.
Yeah, everything's. I will get the
Yeah,
carrot.
yeah, I will get the carrot, and it's always I will get the carrot.
Yeah,
So
it will be all right.
yeah,
So you
that's a spell.
you like telling yourself that now it's not
Yeah.
all right.
While in the moment, if you see that everything is going to be all right, you are having or you had a realization, or you have some hope. You have
True.
some form of everything is going to
Yeah.
be. If you are not phony and just
Flown.
saying that for saying, but if you say that with intention, or if you think everything is going to be all right, you see the possibility of it being all right, emotionally or ideally, because you can see that or you can feel that, how you feel after the situation, right? So by you seeing that possibility, you have it now.
Mm-hmm.
There is no other way. By you having, you being in this body and you having that realization, it means you have it now. There is no place in the future. You have it now. That
Yeah.
means that it will be in the future. But if you realize that it's now, because it's something that you had in your feeling, in your that's something that you traveled in, that is something that you have it now, and you can start working on that possibility of it's all right.
True.
It's really all right, no matter the situation. And all of those situations you could have thought about, and you saw the situation where it's all right.
True.
Where it's all right.
And that's true, but then there is the process or is the event,
Yeah.
because then there is some situations that you feel or you think it's not all right.
Yeah.
Right.
Indeed.
So this is not automatic.
Yeah.
Practicing the everything is all right spell requires a lot of mental piloting, internal work, because you have that choice. You have the choice to believe that everything is all right, or you have the choice to believe that everything will be all right. Okay, it's not all right now, so you have that choice, right? But it's easier in certain situations than others.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier for certain people than others in different situations to really believe and act on everything is all right spell. So because then there is certain situations that everything is not all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then the worst part of the everything is going to be, or everything will be all right, is when in reality around you everything is really all right, but there is somebody or there is a feeling in you that is always trying to convince you that no, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It will be. So you have to be realistic and look at your surroundings and see if everything is really all right or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because then somebody might be trying to convince you that everything is not all right, and that you need to do something, right? And you don't need, because everything is all right. They're just trying to make you perceive that it's not. By, it's so simple. They make you believe everything will be all right, and now you believing that it's not all right, but it is. It's not really that severe. So
Yeah.
that's why you need to discern as well when it's all right around you and when it's not.
Yeah, real
Because
shit.
sometimes it is all right, more times than often it is all right, and people think it's not, and then they start to throw that spell of it will be all right, kind of saying to themselves that right now it's not, and it is. So it's
Yeah,
confusing, you know.
yeah. And when you hear like it will, it's going, and then you, as you were talking about that spell with the rainbow, right? So that in itself is already like the will. It's the
True, it's the
right.
top part of the
Yeah.
will.
So that is like something that you should really think about when you're spelling or wherever you are practicing your words and how you speak, how you talk, wherever you talk. Be able to conjure the best words that will not subjugate you to no representation of whatever you're trying to say or whatever you really want to happen.
True. Yeah.
Instead of going through the same cycle of it's going to be alright
Because
often.
also the spell of it will be alright it's useful, it's powerful, it's not bad in itself.
Yeah.
It's just what I said, sometimes things are alright,
Yeah.
and you are throwing that spell on you, and that creates, it's like a mirror.
Yeah.
By you, like, everything is alright, right, in reality around you, and then you throw that spell, everything, it will be alright. So you are assuming that it's not alright. So then you actually are willing into existence the contrary of the everything will be alright, because then everything will not be alright. You know, you have to write this esoteric cloud with me, because when you say everything will be alright, you're saying that everything it's not right.
That
And
is the situation.
sometimes that's true.
Yeah.
But when it's not true, you can make it true.
Yeah.
And then you go against your own spell, which is everything will be, because then what happens, what you manifest, it's not all right.
Yeah.
Because you were planting that seed.
Yeah. Of it's not alright. Bullshit.
Alright, guys. Real shit.
Real shit here.
It's everything for today. I hope you enjoying your listening session. I hope you enjoy listening to me and Daria.
Thank you so much.
See you on the next time. Check the links, book a service, and enjoy yourself and be yourself. Till the next time, Esoteric Cloud Surfer and
Daria.
Surfing Out. See you soon.
Bye.